So it seems that in the last couple of months, a lot of things have been happening with Google, and I just want to show today how it's been affecting my site. So I'm going to be showing you all of my figures, all of my numbers for my 3 sites built on the Project 24 method. So don't go anywhere. Hello YouTube, and a very special hello to all my subscribers. My name's Phil and welcome to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about my month 12 update for my 3 sites. So in my previous video I just spoke about my year-long update for joining 24 as a Project 24 member, but today I really want to concentrate on each site and just reveal how the numbers have changed, how the page views have grown, and whether or not I'm making any money. So I just wanted to really talk about some of my viewers, because I've really appreciated the support that everyone's been giving me, and to be honest, there have been times when I thought maybe this isn't really helping anyone, maybe I should stop doing this channel, but when I read the comments, it just makes me feel like, okay, this is something worthwhile and people are getting some useful information out of it. And also I find that I'm learning as well. So I want to give a special shout out really to a few people in particular. So I really enjoy getting the comments from Greg, because he seems to be really killing it with his website. I'd really like him to do like a video or something, or maybe we can have a chat and he can reveal some of his tips. He's doing so well, and I really enjoy reading his updates that he always shares with me every time I do an update. Also, thanks very much to Fahed. I hope I'm saying that right. Really, yeah, thanks very much for supporting me. Sandit as well, thanks very much. And Lisa, I mean, this is the great thing about sharing my journey on YouTube, is people give me tips and things, right? So yeah, thanks Lisa, I think you're right, I need to look into Pinterest. Thanks to Troy, thanks for watching. Also, thanks to Mohammed. Really, it's great to hear that you're finding this useful, and hopefully everyone that comments, everyone that watches, hopefully you're gonna find some success in your own projects. And the main reason I'm doing this is because I'm sure I'm making mistakes, and if I can point them out to you sooner, then hopefully you won't make the same mistakes as well. Okay guys, so let's get into the video today. Okay, so as many of you who may watch me on a regular basis will know, I've actually got 3 websites that I've built using the Project 24 method. So site 1 is really the principal site, the one that I've put most of my focus into, and it's the oldest site. It's now a year old, and about a week by now. So for this site, I've actually got 100 posts, and that was my target for the end of the year, its first year. To be honest, I'm maybe a little bit low on content in terms of what Project 24 would recommend. So I'm probably about 30 posts short. I had a bit of a dry spell in the middle of last year. So I'm focusing on building more content, and also building the right kind of content. If you check out my video that I put up last week, I went through and kind of figured out that a lot of my posts weren't ranking, and if they were, they weren't actually bringing in that much traffic, and that is just down to perhaps search analysis and not really understanding the niche as well as I think I do now. So I thought there were some useful points in the last video I had. So the breakdown is I've got 68 response posts. So if you remember, a response post is normally around 1,350 words to 1,500, and it's a direct response to a query. It's normally a low competition type query, and the answer is pretty straightforward. So I've got 21 staple posts. These are slightly longer posts, maybe around 2,500 words, and they're really designed to be shareable, or perhaps a query with a little bit more of an in-depth answer. And I've got 11 pillar posts, and these are like the really meaty kind of posts where they're quite long and they go into a lot more detail. Now, an important thing to remember, something I actually forgot myself, is it's not just about word count. It's also about the quality of the post. It's the amount of time that you're putting into your research and trying to provide something that isn't already on the internet, or perhaps something that adds to what's already there. So when I'm mentioning word count, it's not just getting to the word count and then that content's going to be brilliant. It does really depend on the research. So if we talk about how much time it's taken me to create that content, probably about 136 hours on the response post, 84 hours on the staple post, and 88 hours on those pillar posts. So that gives me a total writing time of around 308 hours. So if you were to dedicate yourself, an hour a day, you could definitely do this over the course of a year. So at the moment, I haven't actually outsourced anything to any external writers. I wrote all of those 100 posts myself. But what I did do is last week, I started giving my writers access to the hit list for this first site. So I'm really trying to build up the amount of content I've got on the site. And because it's a little bit specialized, because now I know a little bit more about this niche, what I actually did for my writers was a little bit different. So previously what I've been doing for the writers is just giving them the title and maybe suggesting the subheadings. But what I did here was I actually came up with a Google document for each post where I gave them the title and the subheadings, but I also gave them a little background analysis of the query and the answer we're looking for. And in each of the subheadings, I actually gave them bullet points, key vocabulary, key terms to use, ideas, and where to look for the information. And I also gave them links that they could link to back to my site. And although it took me a little bit more time to do that, I think the quality of the posts I've been getting back are as good as what I would write myself. And then I'm actually taking what they've written and adding my own voice to it. And I think this is a really good method if you're going to outsource writing to other people, especially when you know a little bit more about the niche than they do. So I think this is the way to go forward. Although it does take more time for me, it's a better quality product at the end. Okay, so in terms of YouTube, again, I know I haven't touched it since September. I've got 13 videos. It's on my to-do list, and I think in my second year of this site, YouTube is something I need to focus on. I'm buying in the right kind of equipment for this particular niche, and I should be able to shoot some more authentic videos than I did for the first 13 when I didn't really know what I was talking about. Okay, so this site is being monetized with Amazon links still. Despite the fact that they've cut our commissions, I still have Amazon links on there. I also have a few other affiliate sort of programs that I've joined up to, and there's some links there, but I haven't really been able to implement them as well as Amazon. They're not all over the site, they're only on certain pages. And to be honest, I haven't had any bites with anything apart from Amazon at the moment, so I need to go back and review that. I also put Ezoic ads onto site 1 in the beginning, about the beginning of May, so I think they went on the 8th of May. And so slowly I'm getting a little bit of money, but Ezoic takes a while apparently to really, for their AI system to figure out, the best sort of ads to serve to people, how many ads and things like that. So I'll be talking about Ezoic later on in the video. Okay, so let's look at the traffic. Okay, so if you saw my video last week where I spoke about this site for the entire year, you probably already know that I hit the 12,164 page view mark. So that is for all the page views. If we just look at organic, just to see a comparison here. So organic page views. So in terms of organic page views, I'm getting 10,714 there, which is so that's 88% of my traffic is organic, which is not too bad really. Seeing that I haven't really done much with social media, so it is a good thing to have this much organic traffic, but it's also a bad thing because suddenly if Google does something, which they always seem to do, and they steal away all that traffic, then I'm left out in the cold basically. So this is something I really need to focus on in the next year or so, is trying to spread out the way that I actually get traffic. So as I said before, social media, maybe some other search engines as well. Okay, so that is what I've got for the month of May. Let's just compare that with what I had from the previous month and May. So here we're looking at the entire month of May and April, and you can see that in so back in April I got 5,542 page views, and that went up to 12,164. Now I do know that one particular post that I put out on the 11th of April, it did incredibly well, and it's now bringing in about 2,000 page views a month. So, I mean, that might explain a bit of the difference, but even though you can see that my page views between April and May, they doubled. So that's really cool. So just talking about where the page views are coming from. So what you should be doing is, if you look at the top 5 posts, and according to Jim and Ricky from Income School, they say that if your top 5 posts are bringing in more than 30% of your traffic, then that should signal a danger sign for you, because you could be in quite a precarious situation, right? So if I look at my top 5 posts for this, as I said, top 1 is quite a new post, only about a month old, and that's bringing in about 16% in all traffic, 17% in organic. This post number 2, about 5%. Post number 3, about 3 and a bit percent. Same for post 4 and post 5. So I'm just under that 30% sort of limit, as it were, to where you should start worrying. So ideally what I want to do is figure out for post 1 what I did right. You know, why is that bringing in so much traffic? Is there anything connected to that search query that I could also write on and find some better posts to bring in more traffic, so that I'm not reliant on that one for so much? You know, 17%, that's quite high, I think. So I need to figure that out. Okay, so last month when I did my month 11 update for my sites, I got a message from Givat, I think that's how I say it, and he made a request if I could show my Google Search Console information. Now, I don't normally share this because I always concentrate on Google Analytics, but if that's useful to you watching it, so let's have a look at that. So this is for the month of May, and you can see total clicks 8,260, 8.26k, and the total impressions just under 150,000 k. The average click-through rate 5.5%. Okay, I don't know if that's good or bad. I suppose it could be better. And the average position about 20. I had this really weird thing. Perhaps this was something to do with a Google algorithm update, but if you look here, you can see, so the blue line is the clicks and the total impressions. So that sort of had a bit of a peak in the middle of the month, whereas my average position went down. Now, this could be because I put on about an extra 15 posts onto the site. So as they were indexed, perhaps that means that it brings down the average position. That's what I'm hoping, because it kind of it fits into where I put it in. But generally, up until about the 20th of May, clicks and impressions were on the rise, and then suddenly they dropped, and they're sort of leveling out now. So I don't know if this is to do with a Google algorithm update or if it's connected to Ezoic. Okay guys, you've made it this far in the video, so let's show you the numbers. You want to know how much money I'm making from this site, because of course that's why we're doing it, right? We're trying to build a full-time income as passively as we can online. So let's look at Amazon. So pretty much all of the money I make on Amazon comes from site 1. I think I made one sale from site 3, which was about 48 cents, but I'm just going to lump it all together here. So this month, so the month of May, I made $65.95. That's with about 72 ordered items, and the conversion rate is around 10%. I'm pretty much making a sale every day. And, you know, if we were talking about this maybe 3 or 4 months ago, that might be double the amount of money, but still $65, you know, that's enough to to pay for your hosting or to pay for a nice pillar post or something like that. So it's good to have it. And if we look at the ads, so I put ads on from the 8th of May, they put it on, and they went up on the 9th of May. So you can see here that I made $21.41, and that's giving me an EPMV of about $2.96. It's pretty low, but I think this is partly because they need to figure out the best way to serve the ads, and also it takes a little bit of time to do that. The other thing I've noticed is since I put Ezoic onto my site, it's just really killed the speed. Even though I'm using this site speed accelerator, I'm getting, on mobile, I'm getting pages that get 25, definitely in the red zone, whereas before, because I'm using Acabado, I was always getting, everything was in the orange, so in the 59 to 79 sort of range, and quite a few pages were even in the green. So this is something I'm trying to figure out. I don't know if that's connected to the drop in traffic I've had coming into June, or if that's just something else. So $20, is it worth having ads? Well, I think so, if I can figure out the site speed. But there you go. So 65, 21. So I've made what, $86 in this month, which is not too bad. I'm slowly getting to those milestones of $100 a month. But as I said in previous videos, I've always worried about getting traffic first, because I know once you get traffic, you can monetize. And this is the first time ever when I've been trying to make money online that I've ever got organic traffic. And I just love this, this method, because, I haven't spent any time doing backlinks. I haven't spent any time writing guest posts, and I'm getting, 12,000 page views a month. I think that's pretty impressive for me anyway. Okay, site 2, my wedding site, the one that is not growing as well as the other ones. I haven't really touched this in several months. So the stats, for, the posts and things, that haven't changed. So if you've seen previous videos, I'll go through this pretty quickly. So it only has 34 posts on it, 20 response posts, 9 pillar posts, 9 staple posts and 5 pillar posts. It was about 116 hours of writing, and I outsourced everything on this, and it cost me about $1,271. I don't have a YouTube channel, and I have some Amazon links on it. It's not made any sales, but it is growing in traffic. So let's have a look at that. So this site I started back in October, so the end of October. So we're looking at, it's about 9 months. Yeah, about 9 months, right? Yeah, coming into May. So it's got 1,175 page views, and pretty much it's being propped up on one or two posts. Yeah, so there's one post which is getting like 57% of the traffic, a second one is getting about 24%, and a third about 12% of the traffic, and the rest is all below 1%. So I've only really managed to get 3 decent posts out of that. I did a terrible job in search analysis here, and it's on the back burner until I get a bit more time. I feel like once I make a bit more progress with the other sites and they start paying for themselves, I'll feel like I can go back to this and spend a bit of time on it. But it is still growing, despite those facts. So if we look back in April, I got 692 page views, and as I said, this month I've got 1,175. So it is always growing each month. So maybe there's hope for this. Yeah, I just need to go back and write some better posts on it and do a bit better of a job of search analysis. Oh, also, so for my mate Givat, I'm going to show you the Google search analysis as well. So here I got 1,000 clicks in the last month, and the impressions 8.41k. The click-through rate is 12%, so it's much better on average compared to what I've got on the site one. But is that because I have fewer posts? Possibly. And the average position is about 18 on this one. Okay, so if you're watching this for the first time, I've mentioned a few things, Project 24, Income School, and you might not know what that is. So I just want to just explain that for those viewers that are watching for the first time. So Project 24 is a course that's been set up by Income School, which is founded by Jim Harmer and Ricky Kessler. And it basically takes you through every single step of the way to build an online income. So these guys, they've built several blogs in the past where they've made, full-time income from it. They've also made a lot of YouTube channels, and I think it's a very useful course, not only for beginners, but also people that have been in the game for a little bit of time. Now, the thing is, you do not need to buy a course to make a successful online business. So there are some people, for example, Greg, who's a regular viewer, they just have their mind switched on. Some people are just naturally good at this. I wouldn't put myself in that group. I definitely benefit a lot from someone's laying out steps and things that you need to do. So although a lot of these tips you could pick out from various places online, it's nice to have things all put together and very clearly explained to you. And this is why I joined Project 24, and I'm really happy I did. So Project 24 is a series of mini courses that always get updated and they're always adding to them. So last month they added the snippet optimization course here, which is just really interesting. And just watching that, I realized that I had made a few mistakes, and this is just one of the benefits of Project 24. So if you are in the same boat as I was a year ago, where you were just struggling to get traffic to your sites, you kind of understood a little bit about affiliate marketing, building sites, but you didn't really see the light at the end of the tunnel, I would really recommend Project 24. You can check out the link that's in the description, so just be aware it is an affiliate link, and if you choose to buy through my link, I do get a commission. But honestly, even if you don't use my link, just go buy the course, because it is really good. And in addition to the courses that always get updated, there's a brilliant forum where if you ever have a problem, people are always there to help you, give you a suggestion, and stop you making an error that could cost you a lot in the future. So let's talk about my site 3, which is in a service niche. Now, this is a really exciting website for me because it's growing so quickly. It's growing much more quickly than my first site did, and it's by far outstripping the predictions that Jim and Ricky have for a site of this sort of age. So I haven't really added anything in the last month. It's still got 50 posts on it, but I do have about 20 posts now. It says 16 here. I've got 20 posts ready to go. I just need to sort of get off my backside and edit them and find images and things like that. I've just been a bit distracted with another project. So at the moment it's got 26 response posts, 16 staple posts, 8 pillar posts, which is about 180 hours of writing, give or take. And I outsourced everything on this site, and it's cost me just under $2,000. I don't have a YouTube channel for this. Perhaps in the future I should make one. I think this kind of niche, perhaps it would make sense to have one of those voiceover kind of YouTube channels. So maybe that's something I would do. As I said, it does have Amazon links, and I made one sale of about 48 cents. But apart from that, it's not making any money. Now, I have had this site approved to go on Ezoic, but I didn't put any ads on it yet, just because of what happened to my first site. I need to figure out, is it worth just letting it grow a little bit and perhaps skipping Ezoic completely and going onto another ad network? Or perhaps if I can figure out what went wrong with my first site in terms of page site speed, maybe I can fix that for site 3 and not have that dip in traffic. Okay, so let's look at the numbers. So this site So I created this site exactly the same time as I created site 2, although I think I asked my writers to concentrate on the first, for site 2 first, but it's pretty much the same age, about 9 months, and it's got 6,494 page views. If we compare that quickly to site 2, it's 6 times as many. And so I think this is really down to search analysis. This is as popular perhaps in search volume as far as I can tell for both site 1 and site 2, but it's very much underserved, I think. Not many people are blogging about this. So if we compare the growth of site 3 from this month, month of May, to the previous month, April, you can see that in April I had 2,724 page views, and compare that to the 6,494 in the month of May. So it's growing at a crazy rate, and I think that's just because I've keep on posting. I've got 50 posts on it. It's nearly double that of site 2, and as I said before, I feel like third time round I just got better at search analysis. It's one of those things. It's a skill. The more you practice, the better you get at it. So yeah, I'm really happy with this site so far. Also, from my mate Givat, let's give him the search console. So in terms of clicks here, it's 4.93 thousand clicks in the last month. That's 122,000 impressions. My average click-through rate is 4%, which is much lower than site 2, but around the same as site 1. I don't really understand why. Maybe if someone could explain that to me in the comments, I do appreciate that. And my average position here is about 15. And if we just look, I mean, this is definitely steady growth all the way through. Site 2, yeah, site 2 also similar. And it's only really site 1 that had that weird thing with the position. So perhaps after, more reflection, perhaps that is to do with his oak. Because you would expect, for the most part, most niches to react the same with a Google algorithm update. Perhaps not. It's a bit of a mystery. If anyone has any insights, I'd love to hear what you think. I'm by no means an expert in everything, so I love to learn from anyone. Okay, so just as a little bonus, I want to talk about my YouTube project that I've launched with a colleague of mine. We started this back in March, and basically it's all about an English exam that people need to take in order to go to university, or if they want to immigrate to a country that speaks English. It's called the IELTS exam. And so this is a YouTube channel called the IELTS Grind. It's a bit of a play on words there. So we have managed to get 183 subscribers here. And in terms of, if we look at some of the analytics, so in terms of videos, we've got 34 that are already published. We've got 5 ready to go. And we've got like about a 2 or 3 month buffer. So the first thing we did is we filmed 3 months of videos even before we launched the channel, just to give us a bit of a buffer. So we don't always film every week, and sometimes we've had to work or something like that, and our schedules don't match up. So we've got a bit of a buffer there, and the more we film, the better we're getting. Our first videos weren't as good, just like the audio quality was terrible. Some of the camera work was pretty bad, but also the subject matter's getting better. And so the newer videos that we're producing now, that won't go out for another month or so, they're by far better than the first ones. And that's just practice, working on camera. And in terms of the analytics, we're in a very competitive space, and we're not doing too well in terms of actual YouTube search. So yeah, we've got 183 subscribers, but a lot of that's come from me promoting on Facebook. But we've had a few little spikes here and there. but we're not really getting, you know, in terms of impressions and things, maybe it's a bit low for a YouTube channel of this age. I don't know. But you know, average view duration things, it's quite low. I feel like we're not quite there with the viewership yet, but still it's positive growth. So just some tips that we picked up, Michael and I. So we spent an entire day last week just looking at our own videos and critiquing them, and we also looked at all of the biggest competitors just to see what are they doing that, you know, makes them popular. We also looked at YouTube channels in the same niche that didn't have as many subscribers, and you know, what are they doing, what videos were popular for them. And also Michael showed me quite a few other YouTubers that he thought were, you know, really killing it, and perhaps we could get some inspiration from them. So when you're coming to YouTube, don't just check your own niche. Really look at the entire platform, and if there's something you found that is kind of quite cool, quite interesting, you think you can adopt it into your own channel, yeah, go and do that. My biggest mistake is that I only ever use YouTube to get information. I never watch it for entertainment. So it's been really useful to work with Michael, because he loves YouTube like that, and he watches all the classic YouTubers that I don't watch. So he helped really put me onto some really cool ideas. So yeah, I will be including more updates on our YouTube channel, the IELTS Grind, because there are some of you who are trying the same thing as me, blogging and YouTube at the same time. If you've made it this far in this video, it must mean that you found this interesting. So why not become a subscriber if you're not one already? If you can help me out in any way by explaining any of the data that I didn't know what it meant, then leave me a comment, because I'm always trying to improve my understanding of data like this. I will see you guys in a future video where I'll be sharing more tips, more facts, and also telling you what not to do so you can grow even more quickly than I am. Okay guys, see you next time.